Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, I was going to tell some jokes about rice cakes, but they're pretty tasteless. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at War Room V2 from Nightingale Games.
They're fighting nation against nation, a battlefield at your command. It's either flourish or starvation. Let's hope your strategy is planned. War room with an answer enemy. Shoot first, then use diplomacy. War room, be the best that you can be. Fight all to land, air, and sea. War room, fight the who will just because. War room, that's just what an answer does. War room, see the whole from above, just like the Doctor Strange love. War room with an answer enemy. Shoot first, then use diplomacy. War room, be the best that you can be. Fight all to land, air, and sea. War room, fight the who will just because. War room, that's just what an answer does. War room, see the whole from above, just like the Doctor Strange love.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so all my cards on the table. War Room is my favorite game of all time. It is number one ever since I first played it. I think it was around Christmas of 2019. I first played this game, and it quickly became my favorite game of all time. Until that point, it was Twilight Imperium 4th edition, and War Room just knocked it off of that spot. Now, they've recently come out with what they call V2, a second edition here. There's just kind of a play on the V2 rocket. And my friends and I, we went and we played the game. Now, the good people at Nightingale Games, they sent me some more accessories here to play with. A few other things kind of more in line with the V2 here. And we sat down, we played the game. Now, I need to point this out right now. V2, as I've gone through the rules, is there's nothing radically different between the first edition rules and these edition rules. There's nothing groundbreakingly new here. Really, what we're getting here from V2 from the rules is pretty much clarifications, a few little changes when it comes to like China and pact and the pact and stuff like that, the non-aggression pact and stuff like that. But really, nothing groundbreaking. We're seeing clarifications, which is awesome because there were a number of little things here and there that could have been tightened, and they're tightening them. And so that is pretty cool. So that's something I really enjoyed here about the game. Now, if you want to see how the game plays, I recommend you check out my earlier review. You can go ahead, check that out, and see if that's a game you want to play. For my money, it's the best game of all time, right? I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. There are some, like I said, there are some new accessories. Now, one thing that you can get are these quick battle kits. Now, again, you can Ray did a great unboxing of this. This is just a new way you can more quickly engage with battle. Now, when we played this the other day, we were considering that, but I was playing with a lot of people who'd never played it again, so we just played the full game. So we didn't play with the quick battle kits, although that is something you can do if you want to try to speed up the game there. But what some of the things we did use here is there's a great new tray now for all of the combat counters, right? The tiles there for your infantry and tanks and artillery and ships and all that. Before they just kind of had these little long boxes that held the different ones. Here you've got a great one that holds them all. It's really good. It's really nice there. You've also got a really good new kind of morale board and a way to stack your nation's casualties to calculate your morale. That board here works really well as well. Now, this game we played yesterday was a 5-player game. I played Germany and Italy. Mike played Japan. Brett played the UK. Al played the Soviet Union, and Ray played the United States. And just like every game I play of War Room, it was intense. We had some just freaking awesome battles here that occurred in this game. essentially, the game played as Germany. I made some good gains into the Soviet Union. I actually got some units into the Caucasus. Mike was trying to make a push into India that failed. I was able to actually bring those units from the Caucasus within a couple of turns, and I conquered India. As Germany, I conquered India. I was able to get the UK out of Egypt for a time. I conquered Egypt. And Mike was able to completely destroy American power in the Pacific, and he was starting to move into Russia. He broke the pact, and he moved into Russia, and he was making significant gains in China, and then things started to fall apart for the Axis. Brett was able to regroup in South Africa and start moving units to the north. And American air power and military power was starting to build up in England at a massive, massive rate. He had a couple of stacks there. America had a couple of stacks of air units that were the commands were complete. They had the full number of units in there. And I think we went 5 game rounds. The last game round, a combined German-Italian force took Moscow. Moscow was on the brink of collapse. Unfortunately, so too was Germany. The British had retaken Egypt. Like I say, the Americans were just punishing Germany every single round with air attacks. My economy was starting to get into shambles, and by that last term, when I was in Moscow, you also had the British were in Denmark, the Americans were in France. If I was very, very lucky, I could have survived in Germany one more round, but they had more units coming, and I just would not have had the industrial capacity to keep that up. The bulk of my units were in Russia, and my rail yards were blown away. It was horrible. So needless to say, we called it at that point after 5 rounds because we've been going for 8 hours, and I kind of had to acknowledge it was a probable American-British victory. Can't say the same thing for the Soviets, but there you go, right? But it's a fun game. Man, I love this game. I love this game so much. War Room, to me, is why I play board games, the experiences it gives you. Now, because it is such a long game, because it is such an involved game, this is like a maybe, if you're lucky, once or twice a year kind of a game. And I was actually quite disturbed to find out that the last time I had played this, I was living in Utah. That was 2001. So it had been nearly, about 3.5 years since I played this game last. I couldn't believe it had been that long. It was too long to go without playing my favorite board game of all time. So there's some more new accessories I didn't even get into, some other fun things that are out there for this version. You can go on Nightingale Games website and see all the stuff that they offer here, but it's just fantastic. I love this game. It's not an inexpensive game, but maybe if this is something you want to do, you and your friends can go in on it together because it is worth it. This game is some of the best gaming experiences I've ever had or playing War Room, and I just cannot recommend this game enough. This game remains, even with the V2 version, and perhaps especially because with the V2 version, this game is a 10 out of 10 on the Cody scale. Best game ever! Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we'd ask you to please go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on X. We would really appreciate that. Please like us and engage with us on social media. We'd also ask you to please leave a thumb for this video on Board Game Geek as well. If you really do enjoy what you see here on this channel, I would humbly ask you to click on my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD. We talk about history, military history, books on history, fun things like that. I even post some of my lectures on up there. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to that channel as well. And if you really do like what we do here, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. My art book doesn't have a final chapter. So I guess I'll have to draw my own conclusions.
Everybody thought that I was
Asian.
Your eyes are a little bit.
I've heard that too.
But the
how are you?
yeah.
Sweetie?